now, Maeve. We have bigger fish.
I don't.
Hey guys, what's happening? Nihat here with Film Comics Explained, and as requested, today we're diving back into The Boys. Portrayed by Dominique McElligott, Margaret Maggie Shaw, aka Queen Maeve, is a major antagonist turned hero in the series. First introduced in The Boys comic books written by Garth Ennis, a self-confessed hater of superheroes, Queen Maeve is essentially a parody of the DC superheroine, Wonder Woman, and one of the most complicated characters in the show.
Our weakness is the same as anyone's. It's people. The people we care about. So I say, cut them loose.
Born and raised in Modesto, California, Queen Maeve's public image is that of a warrior, a feminist, a humanitarian, and a role model. But in reality, she's a deeply depressed, broken, cynical, and disillusioned woman. Like the other members of the Seven, with the exception of Homelander, Maeve was injected with Compound V as an infant and developed potent abilities like near invulnerability and super strength. She also has the power of flight in the comics. While Homelander is a pure psychopath, much like some of the other members of the Seven, she began as a determined idealist. Throughout the series, we learned that she'd been a student at Vort's Hero College. Maeve was then drafted into the Seven as its second member, the first being Homelander. Over time, she was reluctantly complicit in the corruption of both the Seven and Vort out of fear for her loved ones. Because of this, Maeve took a back seat and allowed a lot of horrible things to take place, despite being the second most powerful member of the Seven behind Homelander. This included the botched rescue of a passenger plane in Season 1.
Maeve, think. We're done here.
Take these two!
No.
Just these two!
No,
please.
what? So they can tell the world that we left the rest of them to fucking die?
In her mind, this moment solidified the fact that she was not a hero and could never be one as a member of the Seven. It's not surprising that the event left her broken, leading to her becoming an alcoholic and a shell of her former self. Maeve then started to believe that the only way to survive was to avoid personal relationships and to stay away from friends. Of course, Butcher, Starlight, and the rest of the boys eventually show her that there was a path to redemption.
First time your prissy ass showed up at the tower, you saved me. Truth is, you don't need me anymore. I could jump. You can fucking fly.
One of Queen Maeve's primary abilities is her tremendously enhanced superhuman strength. Prior to her depowerment at the end of Season 3, she was the second most powerful suit behind Homelander, something he also confirmed. Of course, that's before they knew Soldier Boy was still alive, but that's another story. One I covered in this video on Soldier Boy, links in the description.
You have PTSD and you are super f***ing stoned. Alright?
I don't have shell shock. Fuck you.
Her powers developed early, and even as a child, she was able to cushion the impact of a falling bus by punching it with one hand, breaking her arm in the process.
What am I supposed to be looking at?
My radius never healed straight. I really did break every bone in my right arm.
Her feats of strength included breaking a speeding armored truck in half by standing in its way, easily snapping a man's neck after lifting him with one hand, putting Black Noir in a headlock long enough to force feed him nuts, overpowering Stormfront, who also has high levels of super strength and durability, to giving Homelander a nosebleed after challenging him to a fight. Her strength also allowed her to jam a small metal rod into his ear, causing it to bleed and affect his hearing, and enabled her to leap great distances. With great superhuman strength tends to come superhuman durability, and Queen Maeve is no exception.
Oh God. Well, you look like shit.
Question, should I get a pirate badge or the Sammy Davis glass eye?
Oh, the pirate patch, no question.
Her resilience is such that she can be carried by Homelander at supersonic speeds and suffer no ill effects from the turbulence and low oxygen. Maeve was also able to take punches from Homelander, and even briefly endured his heat vision on her chest before quickly blocking it with her armored wrist guards. It should be noted though that, like many of the other Supes, her eyes are more vulnerable, which Homelander took advantage of. But I think the truest testament of her durability is the fact that she managed to survive a fully charged energy blast from Soldier Boy, and the subsequent fall from Vought Tower. Throughout the series, Maeve has showcased her amazing superhuman speed. Not only could she overtake speeding vehicles, but Maeve also had the ability to run along walls and defy gravity for short periods of time. Her speed is matched by her superhuman agility. Queen Maeve's agility, balance, and bodily coordination are enhanced to levels way beyond the natural physical limits of the finest human athlete. This, coupled with her strength and durability, make her a feared opponent on the battlefield. Interestingly, her musculature produces considerably fewer fatigue toxins during physical activity than that of a regular human. Because of this superhuman stamina, she's able to exert herself at peak capacity for about 24 hours before succumbing to fatigue. Queen Maeve's reflexes are similarly enhanced to superhuman levels, enabling her to avoid multiple attacks at once. She even managed to dodge many of Homelander's attacks and counter him. The marrying of her speed, agility, and reflexes have also given her a degree of stealth. With this, she was able to sneak up on Stormfront and Homelander, catching them both off guard. While I'm not sure to what extent, Maeve is also shown to be gifted with enhanced senses. Much to his surprise, she easily detected Translucent, who is motionless and invisible in the ladies' room, like a beta creep.
Translucent, you're a damn pervert.
And she also spotted that Homelander was wearing concealer to hide a bruise.
Wait, is that concealer? Do you have a bruise?
With all of that said, it should be noted that, in addition to the abilities granted to her by Compound V, Maeve is a formidable martial artist that is expertly trained in many forms of hand-to-hand combat. Throughout the series, she was able to use this to defeat multiple opponents at once, and even pushed Homelander on the back foot using months of training and conditioning to increase her fighting skill.
Hey, asshole!
She is also known to be deadly with a sword, and extremely accurate, with Homelander noting that Maeve once threw a pen into a man's eyeball from over 78 feet away. Despite her overwhelming capabilities though, she isn't invincible. Supes with extreme levels of strength like Homelander are able to injure her. By extension, her fear of Homelander was a debilitating weakness that dominated Maeve for quite some time. Of course, she eventually overcame this fear, and proved that while she couldn't kill him, she was able to injure the diabolical Superman. Despite being a hardened cynic and member of the Seven, Maeve deeply cared about the people around her. While not exactly a weakness, this would be exploited by Homelander and the Vought Corporation on a number of occasions.
Well, best of luck to you both. Honestly, Maeve, I am really happy for you.
In the beginning of the series, Queen Maeve was one of the few people to know the truth about Homelander's cruel, sadistic, and murderous nature. She was often treated more like a piece of property by him than a teammate, and lived under constant fear of what he would do to those closest to her if she was to fall out of line. The two grew more hostile towards each other in Season 2, when Maeve attempted to secretly revive her relationship with her former girlfriend. When Homelander found out, he revealed it to the world during a live interview, putting Elena's life in jeopardy. Of course, with him forcefully outing her, Vought didn't waste time to capitalize on this by changing her image and rebranding her, enabling Homelander to have power over her life once more. She ultimately ended this control by blackmailing him with footage of their failed attempt to save the plane.
You're gonna stop hunting Starlight. You're gonna leave me and Elena alone, or I release this.
Knowing his public image was vital to his influence and power, Homelander backed down, initially ending his hunt for the boys and allowing Butcher and Ryan to flee to safety. With the arrival of Season 3, she takes it one further by helping to orchestrate his downfall.
What's BCL read?
You believe the rumors, it's the thing that killed Soldier Boy.
Had to have been a fucking H-bomb. He was nearly as strong as...
Maeve not only supplies Butcher with Temp V and a folder on Soldier Boy, but she secretly trains to fight and kill Homelander once and for all. I mean, she even spreads rumors about herself that she stopped training and has been drinking again, all in the hope that Homelander would underestimate Maeve when the time came for her to confront him. Unfortunately, when the Seven ultimately discover she betrayed them, she's captured by Black Noir and forced into containment at Vought. Homelander then reveals he planned on using her eggs to create Supe children with their combined abilities. Despite her horror, Maeve states that it was a good day as she got to see Homelander scared following his encounter with Soldier Boy.
This is still a top 3 day. in my life. Because today is the day I saw you scared.
Ultimately escaping Vort's custody, she teamed up with the boys to finally end him. But with Ryan getting in the way, things don't go exactly as planned. Seeing that Soldier Boy was about to kill everyone with his radiation-infused energy blast, Maeve saves the gang by tackling him out the window. While she miraculously survived the fall, the destructive blast ultimately fried the Compound V in her blood. This meant that she was now a regular human, and with Homelander no doubt wanting to get his revenge, Maeve has decided to go into hiding with Elena. Given the fact that Kimiko ended up topping up with Temp V to protect Frenchie, after also losing her powers to Soldier Boy's blast, I think that Queen Maeve will likely be forced to do the same thing to protect Elena in the upcoming season. Of course, only time will tell. With that, I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories, so please share them below. And don't forget to let me know which character you want me to cover next. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thanks to everyone that requested we jump back into The Boys. If there's anything else you'd also like for me to cover, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Nihat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
I gotta go.
What? No.
I'm sorry, family emergency.
Maeve, we've never had 3 women in the 7 before. This is a moment. Girls, get it done. You are not...
Three hours later.